they use for a critical roll.
Okay.
Doesn't YouTube really only copyright strike you if you're making money off of it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
like they don't give a shit if you have like 12 subscribers.
YouTube doesn't really care that much unless it gets a certain amount of views. Twitch is a bit different because, like, as soon as you're on the platform, you can technically monetize just because of donations.
Right.
So they just made it made it a blanket statement of like, you use copyrighted stuff, we're gonna hit you with a strike, and that persists no matter what you do.
You could probably just get YouTube like in a media war if you get them to claim a video where all profits go to charity.
Yeah, that's
Play the system.
Let's
All right, which bot do I have to mute? Is there two?
No.
tempo.
The tempo bot is only playing like ambient to like background.
Okay.
You know, like that kind of like, oh, I need to sleep, so there's like sound effects in the background.
Yep.
That's what that is. So you don't need to mute that.
Okay.
And the other stuff is used for critical roles. So,
yeah,
your DM has found a way around it.
Hooray! Let's just hope they didn't have to buy a license for that, and we're still fucked. But hey, that's likely very improbable.
Yep. All right. So, go ahead and state, Way of the Drunken Fist. Are we good to go?
Si, senor.
We then have our glow stick minion.
I don't know how I'm a minion, but okay.
Well, that's because you're here. So,
But does that make me a minion?
you will be a minion. Anyway, we then have our illustrious bard number 1 with bagpipes.
I'm the only bard here, so yeah.
Yes.
Hi.
Bard number 1 with bagpipes.
Hi. Yes.
Good to go?
Yeah.
Awesome. And last but certainly not least, the hungry dragonborn.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So I believe, without further ado, we'll go ahead and get our recap kicked off. As we last left off with our intrepid adventuring party, after being summoned forth by Lord Brokenridge, the governor and lord of the city and port of Port Ivy. After some unique and interesting events happening at the city regarding an attack, both in almost correspondence with gnolls and what seemed to be a hint of drow. After helping the local guard and the lord see off this bastion of evil, being inclined to help the city further, as the lord had given them a task to see as to why the city was not helped. After finding out that the local small fortress town regarding a large sum of clerics and paladins set to always come to the aid of Port Ivy being demolished, burnt to the ground, and salted. After returning with this message, some eerie magic being proposed, finding themselves beneath a sky which seemed to be torn apart, beset by what seemed to be a cloud of, almost as if forming a lake in the sky, as this rift seemed to have opened up, the sky itself becoming a churning torrent of waves that crashed into itself. After returning back to the city, Lord Brokenridge telling them to possibly check this occurrence out, that it might have something to do with his ailing state of physicality and health. After trekking across country for about a week and a half, getting closer and closer to this rift in the sky, finding upon a lone hill what seemed to be a crag, almost a sort of entrance into the earth. After being told it was a temple, you had seen almost what looked to be a tall, pale humanoid exit out with a large, metallic man that didn't even seem to render you in its conscious, that then disappeared as you just stood there in awe. And we pick up as our party has just been dumbfounded by seeing perhaps an oddity or even a rarity of whatever this was. And we pick up there.
Ryoka still looks like she wants to continue trying to swim,
Please don't.
but she
try
was
and
told
swim.
not to. She was told
That
not
has never,
to.
that has never stopped her before.
I mean, she's staring at the water intensely. Let's just say that.
Please.
Maybe you-
Rebecca,
Oh, sorry.
Please,
Rowan, just do
I'm
it.
just begging
Do
you
it.
here.
We should maybe just carry on with our, task that we kind of got given.
That would be a wise idea.
What were we doing again?
That is an excellent point. Rowan will just turn towards the rest of the party.
Ryoka and Rowan just fucking look at the rest of the party that has more than one brain cell. Ryoka and Rowan just
Hey,
have
don't
one
look at
to
me.
share.
I'm not part of that.
And I think Rowan has it at the moment since Ryoka's trying to jump into the water.
Yeah! Well, she already did previously.
Well, this is a kind of a conundrum because I wasn't here for the session that you guys got this job.
Basically, long story short about this part, she jumped into the water and Rowan filled up his buckets
With magic water.
Yep.
with magic water.
Water from what appears like the water plane.
Non-Newtonian water.
Non-Euclidean water.
I do not know the
else
difference.
Anyways, which direction would our objective be?
That way, Rowan would just point in a random direction.
Roll me percentile dice.
That's 2 100s, right? I mean,
Yep.
10.
Yeah, the D10 and the
I
second
have
D10.
no idea. Yeah, I have no idea how the order works. I'm just going to tell you the result for the first one. That's a 4. The second one is a 0.
So you got the 00, so it's just 4.
No,
Oh,
I don't know. It's I have from
One-
1 to 9
one
and
of
then
the
a 0.
D10 should have
No, I
two-digit
just
numbers
have one
like.
D10.
There
No,
should be-
Behemoth. I don't
Right,
have.
I'll roll
D10.
for you. I'll roll
Okay,
for it.
yeah, that works out better, I think.
Alright. You point northernly.
Rowan, I
Yes.
think that's quite the opposite of where we have to go.
Then why didn't you say so before?
I don't know, I wanted to see you humiliate yourself
So,
somewhat.
Bold of you to assume I can.
which direction do we have is our objective? I'm kind of looking around, trying to figure out where.
no,
You see
like-
Volus.
Oh.
Volus points his hand towards the temples. As much as I dislike it, we were told to check it out. And even though we can see it from here, I don't suppose that there might be anything worthwhile to see out here. Perhaps we should go inside. I don't wish to touch the water any more than we have to, but it doesn't seem to be that much of a travel. From what we can
Do we
see here...
Do we
he
get to
looks
go
over here.
swimming?
I don't believe we need to swim. We could perhaps walk.
Can we just throw Ryoka in there?
I'm curious.
I would not recommend it, but we can try if that's what you wish to do.
You want to be thrown in there?
I mean, who's gonna throw me? She looks to near him.
Yeah, Rowan will also.
How about we stop that train of thought for now?
Why though?
Well, we have to get across it anyway, right?
Why did the monk cross the river?
To get to the other side.
Okay, and at that I am just gonna start walking. I'm just gonna try and start walking in where I believe we could get to the place? Like, just without having to cross the water? 'Cause from what I remember, if we try and walk on it, we kind of sink.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, but we're
And
still
it becomes
able to
rough
wade
terrain.
through it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We're just
So
not
essentially, as you step into it, your foot sinks in roughly about to mid-thigh height, and then you step in with the other foot, and you seem to find almost like a solid footing, as if you're stepping on some sort of almost hard clay surface. It's a bit slippery, but you can walk on it.
Ryoka looks to Nero, and it's just like, toss me.
So you really want to do this, huh?
This is a long way to go.
Yes.
Especially with it being
It should only take you roughly about 45 minutes to walk, just because it's rough terrain.
okay.
It shouldn't take you all that long.
I thought it was much longer.
No.
So we could just wade through it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess we can do that. Okay, right, okay, I guess since we're doing this anyway, might as well fulfill your wish.
Is he gonna go like so long?
She starts giggling like a maniac.
Hey, don't
Is
fault
Ner-
me if it goes wrong, okay?
Is Niram gonna swing
Yes.
her around and just like so long Gay Bowser her?
I mean, basically, yeah. That's his-
Ryoka is ready.
And this is when I mute Hubie.
Okay, brace yourself. And, I guess Nera picks up Ryoka by the legs and just starts, like, swirling her around himself to build up momentum. Like a hammer thrower.
I would like to give Nerm inspiration for this throw. Come on, you can do this! As fast as possible!
Okay. Alright.
The party starts losing their shit. Like, do it!
Nero, you suddenly feel yourself imbued with the idea of, perhaps I can do it. I can do it! He believes in me! Go ahead and make me a strength check.
Okay.
Go ahead and make me a strength check.
Dice, don't fail me now. That's, oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going to use that inspiration. That's what, a D6 or D8 at this point?
D8.
Okay. Let me grab one. Wow. Okay, that's depressing. Where at a 12?
What did you roll?
I rolled a 7.
So you are almost losing your grip as you're spinning around with Ryoka. And as you release her, she gets roughly about 10 feet, and then she skips about once after hitting the water, and then pretty much skids through the water and then stops and sinks about halfway through.
Man, I really don't feel up to snuff anymore. I need to work out.
Ryoka, does she take any damage?
No.
Okay.
Just, you get thrown across and you land into the water.
Bro, it just
She
looks very
jumps
satisfied.
She jumps up and throws her arms in the air and just screams victorious.
Yeah. You jump up, but it's kind of odd for you to do so. It's like as if you're moving in gelatin. It seems whenever you move, it morphs to how you're moving in it. So it's kind of odd for you to get a grip and stand yourself up straight. But as you do so, you get yourself up and you clamor victoriously as everybody there just kind of watches you. Volus
Bro,
pinches the
like,
bridge of his
yes!
nose. And you watch as Volus just starts sinking his feet into the water and starts walking.
You know, at least nothing bad happened.
Famous last words.
Yet, I guess.
You know, since he says that, I might need to roll some dice.
Oh, Jesus
no.
Christ.
Zorm's gonna
Guess I'll die.
Zorm's gonna start walking.
Alright.
Ryoka
Oops,
gonna
someone's
follow-
here, Matt.
While also like looking down into the water plane.
Ryoka's gonna follow him, just like seeming very proud of herself, even though she has no reason to be proud of herself.
But you are, as you're walking across and you're looking down through this almost rift in the, not only the sky anymore, but you're looking down into the ground. And what should be a large, pretty much lake in the center of this flat grassland has become almost a quasi-mirror. As you look at it and you look down, you see schools of fish swimming by as if not a care in the world. You see a creature you couldn't even comprehend as to what it was. You'd never heard of them before. You see with 8 elongated limbs that seem to curl backwards and forward, almost like some sort of eldritch creature, with a single bulbous head. And you watch with 4 yellow eyes just kind of watch you as it scoots by underneath this mirrored plane.
Holy shit, I just found something that almost equals the ugliness Ryoka has.
Wait, what?
Well played.
What
Out
did
of
you
character,
find?
I know exactly what
Look,
that is,
look,
and I
it's
am
like
terrified.
it's like your twin but prettier.
What?
Rowan's just like pointing down at this eldritch abomination thing looking.
Yeah, you see what looks to be a very slim and smooth creature. The flesh itself looks to have no sort of pockmark or even any sort of break like a human's might. And you see just floats by as 8 tendrils just seem to coalesce in a ball at the end and then force itself through the water.
Ryoka does not take this as an insult because she thinks the creature is kind of badass looking.
Out of character.
She rolls like,
Exactly
God
what
damn
that
it.
is.
Try and do something quick. Let's see if this immediately works perfect. Nope, I need to reorient this so bad. Let's mark these.
Oh, I see what happened there.
Yep,
This is why I watch the Twitch while you're doing this.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm doing some
Ryoka
live.
grins.
expo
Ryoka
editing.
grins to Rowan, and she's like,
There we go.
I'm glad to know that you think my skin is so clear without any scars.
Rowan just holds up the middle finger.
So
There we
he's
go.
gonna just keep walking. He's gonna walk
It's gonna be
right past
straight.
him.
Scroll.
All right. So as you get up to the entrance of this kind of hilled crag, and you see the kind of torn open, almost cave that seems to enter out from it. You look into it, and you see almost about 5 feet in from this opening, the stone itself is no longer grayish black from the natural stone, but you see it turns almost like a quartz white, almost a pure quartz white. And there looks to be some sort of a almost portal way into it. Not a doorway, but almost like a portal. There's no door to it. It seems to be a circular portal. You watch as Volus dries himself out, and you see a familiar kind of grayish light come out of his hand.
Should probably do this as well. Where is my OBS? There we go. Just so you can see what's going on as well.
He looks about for you, Volus. Well, we've gotten here. Perhaps anybody willing to be the first takers or so?
Ryoka raises her hand and waves it.
He doesn't look surprised.
Like, pick me! Pick me!
I would say we would go with Niram, but since you wish to
I think
persuade
Niram is a
yourself
good
down
choice,
there.
yeah.
He points out Ryokan. You can lead first if you wish.
I guess I'm gonna go second just to be at the front as well.
I'm gonna go third.
Rowan will go fourth.
Need to actually make you guys a little battle map.
That's not
Because-
a good sign.
Battle map.
Not a battle map, just a map.
Is that
Don't
the new
worry.
battle map?
Alright. But at the moment, the entrance itself is pretty thin. The way you walk in, you have to do it almost like back to back. So as you slide by it, Niram, you kind of actually have to flatten yourself out and shuffle through kind of like you're almost as if going through a mountain climbing pass, and you have to shovel through it.
Oh, great. Yeah, I think I really need to lose a couple pounds. This is getting more and more uncomfortable.
Oh, you're just fluffy.
No, I mean, I'm literally, like, it's bad if there's, like, a crack sticking out. Ah!
Ryoka, I don't think you've seen a fluffy thing in your life. You think that he
He's
is
just
fluffy.
big scaled.
But after about, like, 5 feet, the surface is no longer rough, and as you kind of get poked by that last crag, you notice you don't get stuck on anything. It's almost as if you're putting your hand on a smooth column, almost as if someone had carved out the inside of this hill and replaced it with this quartz. And you run your hands along it, and it's completely smooth. There's no hint of roughness, no change of texture. It's just smooth.
Well, that's a relief.
All right, then we'll say Volus goes next. And this is just for the symbol of, or pretty much the semblance of where you guys are. The room itself is pretty small, so you guys would be able to all kind of coalesce in there, but it'd be very uncomfortable to do so. Ryoka, as you look downwards into the entrance of this palace, almost, you look around and see there's no light in here. You can't really see much, except for what sunlight comes in behind you. And you see the walls themselves are highly decorated with almost a firm relief of what seems to be people in the wall, all of them cloaked or hooded. And most of them seem to have a prominent feature about them. You see that on the center of the chest there looks to be some sort of almost what looks to be a small medallion that has the face of some sort of creature to it. The relief is too small and fine for you to make out what it is. But that's when, as you enter into here. As you get to the end, you kind of step through expecting another hallway as the light seems to fade out here. But your foot almost betrays you as you start almost falling down a set of stairs, but you catch yourself. And as you step down the stairs, you start losing more and more light, and by this time, it's pretty much you're going through dark light. You can't see more than about 5 feet in front of you. That goes for everybody else who does not have dark vision within the party.
Well, so who is in favor of a torch?
Me.
This is fine.
Okay, so we have one person who's for it. I'm gonna clearly ignore that bard. Well,
fuck you.
Unanimous. Just pulls out a torch, lights, and gives it to Ryoka.
You know, I could have made...
Ryoka takes some torch.
Technically, I could have...
As you reach up and as you light it, you almost hear the echoing of you striking the flint and steel. And as it echoes down the hall, you seem to watch as these small, luminous lights just start flickering on.
Oh, hell no. Nope. Fuck
And
this.
you watch as about 8 globules of light just seem to be floating above the wall, giving a nearly perfect light, even more vibrant than any sunlight you've ever seen.
God damn it!
She giggles and she like waves the torch to set it out.
Right. So, with the new light that you see, you watch as the hallway continues for about another 30 feet, and you see as to the left there seems to be another portal way leading into another room. The room itself doesn't look to have any light to it, so it's a bit hard for you to see, but with the dim light it looks to be some sort of a... you can't even tell, but you do see what looks to be some sort of a raised platform in the center of it. To the right, you watch as the wall seems to almost without a corner or break, just seems to smooth itself out to the right. And as you're looking at the walls, you see more and more of these reliefs that never seem to stop. You see depictions of schools of fish, this depictions of the same creature you had seen previously, with the 8 kind of large tendrils that just seemed to keep pulsing in and out as it pushed itself through the water. You see denotions of sharks. You see almost what looks to be an amalgamation of the sea itself. But you can't help but wonder what's in the background of these reliefs. The more you look at it, the more you see all of these reliefs seem to have a portrait to them, or even some sort of background meaning. And it seems to be something large that just seems to continue and keep going and grow. You're not sure what it is.
So, just for specification, when you're saying like the reliefs just seem to grow, is it like that they're all just continuing one on to the next one to the next?
Yes, it is. They're just continuously a pattern of reliefs. Every time you would think one's about to end, it picks up once more.
I am not the only one getting bad vibes out of this, am I?
Be careful. Don't know what this place is, and could be anything really. Just keep going, keep an eye out. Don't be stupid.
Yeah, Ryoka.
Hey.
As you continue stepping forward, Ryoka, you start noticing on the left-hand side leading into this portaled room with the almost inclined surface on the front. You see from the dim light, what's your passive perception again, just so I know how I'm describing this to you?
My passive perception is 17.
Okay, so you pretty much can see this. You see what looks to be a smear of a handprint, as if something had tried to, like, hold on to the wall and then was dragged into the room.
She very curiously steps forward.
As you step forward, pretty much almost to the portal way of this room, you look into it, and the smell of blood immediately meets you. And it's very fresh, almost as if this has happened in the past hour or so. And as you look in with the dim light you can see, you see what looks to be a body, almost plastered against the far wall.
Well, someone got thrown like a rag doll.
Well, now the curious part is by what?
Want to find out?
Yeah, they got smeared right about there.
Not really, to be
That's
fair.
looking? Nah.
But that's what you can see. There's no real light to that room. The only light here is coming from the hallway.
Narum, can you light the torch again?
All right, give it here.
And she hands the stick over.
Yeah, he takes it back and tries to relight the torch.
As you light it, no globules of light seem to appear or apparate into the room, so the torch is actually needed here.
Ryoka steps inside the room with the torch.
As you step into the room, you almost immediately feel a shiver go up your spine. It's cold in here, unnaturally so. But it's almost welcoming, as if stepping into a... Have you ever stepped into a cold pool, but then realized that actually that's what you needed for a moment?
Yeah.
And you just kind of... Yeah, that's essentially what you're doing, is you're wading into a cold pool, and that's almost as if it's meeting your skin. You see, as you enter it and kind of bearing the torch through Niram, are you following her into the room?
Yeah.
Right. There is a raised dais right about here in the room. And Ryoka, you're pretty much stepping onto it just as you're looking around.
What's a dais?
It's a small pedestal, maybe about 5 foot by 5 foot, and it's pretty much circular. It's raised off the ground by about maybe half a foot.
Okay.
Yeah. And as you step onto it and kind of look down, you see a silhouette of what almost seems to be a star. And the more you look at this star, you start thinking it's something else. Go ahead and make me an intelligence check.
I have one brain cell. That's not gonna go great. Well, I have a +1, but you know.
I know, but that's why it's an intelligence check.
17.
17. From what you can tell, or at least what your vibes are telling you, it's not a star, that's a mouth.
Is it stone? Is it moving?
It's stone. It's not moving.
Okay.
It's a relief set in the stone.
Okay. She relaxes a little bit.
I guess Zorm's gonna see what the commotion's all about with them kind of being there, so he's gonna start making his way up there.
Alright.
I guess Naram's going to step a bit deeper into the room just to let Zorm through.
So, you stepping in and out of the way. Zoram, you kind of have to push past Volus, who's just kind of watching the other way down the hall. The rest of you behind. Zoram, as you step in, you're met with the same kind of cold sensation, and it kind of unsettles you and the scales that you have. You're not used to being cold, nor do you like it. But as you step in, you see Ryoka is hesitantly stepping off the dais.
Do I see the splattered man?
Oh yes, it's very obvious.
Can I tell what killed him?
It seems whatever killed this man, if you walk over to it, go ahead and make me a medicine check.
What is my medicine? So that is 18.
18. This guy was killed by a very heavy blade. It seems whatever hit him with it, hit him hard enough to hit him from one side of the room to the other. And as you go over and start kind of like peeling apart the robes that this man wears, what used to be a vibrant blue and white is now stained with the red of blood. And as you continue looking through it, you notice this guy's midsection, pretty much where his ribs should be, is all caved in from where the sword hit him, or whatever weapon this was. Either a giant sword or something of the like.
So we can surmise that this guy didn't die from
Natural causes.
being splattered against the wall. Okay.
No,
Alright.
I think
He's gonna kind of just state this to the group, like, this guy died from someone else.
I mean,
Look.
no shit.
I think I could have told you that.
Yeah, but it wasn't like. From what I understand from the description, is that he looked like he was like splattered against the wall.
I mean, clearly.
Yeah, he seemed to get cut by something extremely heavy, so.
Ryoka looks to Nero.
Ah, yes, the
Oh,
floor
what
here
the
is made out of
fuck?
floor.
I wasn't even in here before. Just because I'm fat, really.
Don't bully the muscle. Don't bully the muscle.
I'm
Oh,
not
God,
bullying the muscle.
Why
I
is
just had a
everyone so
mental
mean to
image.
me?
I just had a mental image I cannot get out of my head anymore. It's just Niram walking through the lake with just Moto music in the background.
Oh my god.
Moto likes you.
And this is why this is named Shenanigans galore.
Yep.
Does Does the man have anything on him?
Go ahead and make me an investigation check.
Oh, good at those. I really gotta stop putting my dice away every single time I roll.
You also need to stop using weighted dice, but
Excuse
we'll get
me.
to that when we get there.
Watch him roll a 20.
No, I didn't roll a 20. I roll
A 19.
I think 18. I'm like, what's
Close
5?
enough.
What's 5 plus 13?
Jesus.
Looking over the body, there is a ruined medallion. Almost looks to have a star on it, but you can see it's been pretty much. It took the brunt of the blow, and it's almost been snapped in half. And there's no gold or silver on this person. You do find a ceremonial dagger on them.
Okay. I just like to kind of look these over, see if I can figure out like what this person's affiliation would have been.
Looking over, affiliation. That's going to be pretty tough to tell because they're dead. But the man himself looks to be roughly 40, maybe late 40s. Kind of a well-built beard that seems to just kind of strap along the chin. Peppered gray. The hair has been entirely shaved from the head, making it bald. But other than that, there's not much you can tell from this person.
Does the medallion have any kind of significance?
There's a star on it, much like the one on the pedestal behind Ryoka.
Alright, so
Reading.
I'm assuming then that I can't quite identify what it is supposed to be representing.
I mean, go ahead and make me an intelligence check just as you're kind of seeing it. It'll still be at disadvantage just because of how, badly corroded it is because of the sword slash.
I will be right back.
Understood.
Here. And this is intelligence. I lost one of my dice.
So I could hear.
Get back here. It's another 18.
Okay. You're looking at it, and because you managed to, you almost poke out a detail from the almost pedestal instead of the medallion. As you're trying to discern what this is, you start noticing that the star isn't necessarily a star. You start seeing elements of what look to be like teeth or so that seem to be sketched into the center of it. And you see as the edges of this star, it seems to be a four-pointed star that just seems to have been opened up. And you start noticing that the inner decorations of the star almost denote what look to be some sort of like a slithering or so, almost like a tongue.
If I may, Greg.
Yep.
Would it be possible to use mending on it to try to repair it to a degree so it's more recognizable?
Yes, it would be.
Right then.
It was not totally destroyed.
Then Wallace is going to walk up and start casting mending on the medallion.
Okay. You go over and hold out your hand, Zoram. You hand it to him?
Yeah.
Alright. So Zoram you hand it off to him, Volus. You take it in your hands, and as you pretty much rub it between your two hands and press your palms to it, and muttering a few words beneath your breath, your hands start glowing a faint bronze, as if almost like forging something. And as you withdraw your hands within your right palm, the medallion looks to be made whole once more, and it looks to be pretty much the same decoration as put onto the pedestal.
Hopefully this is a bit more helpful. He offers the medallion back, of course.
Who's having Windows issues?
I don't know. Oh,
Okay.
Rowan. But as you go ahead and hand it out back to Zoram, you take it in your hands and look at it. See the same thing that seems to have apparated onto this relief on the pedestal. And the rest of you, as you're just waiting for something to happen here, you're not sure, but you think you hear something coming down the hall.
Ryoka goes to poke her head out.
Not you. You guys are in the room. You're busy. I'm talking to the people outside. That means Iris, Clyde, and Rowan. Two of which are
Rowan
NPCs,
was
but
trying to see if there was anything actually coming for them, or if it was just another.
sounds like it's coming from this way.
Hold on. I have to look at the screen share.
Okay, let me zoom in a bit,
Alright.
just so it's a bit bigger on the OBS screen.
Alright, where's it coming from?
That direction. It sounds like it's coming from. Alright. So, your pretty much directions are pretty much the same here. What's north on the big map is north here. So, this way is north, just so everybody knows. You hear it pretty much coming from the northeast. And you're not sure what it is, but it almost sounds like a low moan or a groan. You can't tell.
Rowan would just go like, well, and fuck, this is not good. He'd cast invisibility on himself before actually going to check around the corner.
Go ahead and make me a stealth check at advantage.
Alright, that is... Alright, that is a 26.
26.
Wait, no. Wait. Sorry, 28.
Damn.
28. Very
Yeah.
good. So as you peel around the corner, putting your hands on the edges of it and look.
Would it be possible to rather do it like sticking to the back wall, just skitter around that corner, just in case if something comes
Oh,
around?
so over here.
Yeah, because just
Okay.
in the edge. Exactly.
So as you skirt around the edge, watching around the corner, as you poke around it, you see what you think is a human. And the humanoid seems to be roughly about here. There's no light, so the only thing you can really see is the tail end of your dark vision.
Alright,
And it's currently walking towards you, but almost as if shambling.
Hey, Iris, Clyde. There's something there. Looks human. I don't know. Be careful. Prepare for
See-
battle if we have to.
You see Iris kind of
What?
locks into a crossbow and puts her bolt into it. And then Clyde goes over and
And warn the others.
you see as Clyde goes over towards the portal door and says, We might have company here. There's something coming down the hall.
Ryoka is gonna hand off the torch to the nearest person to her, and she's gonna pull out her quarterstaff and her dart.
In the meantime, could Rowan just slowly and as silently as possible make his way up the hall and trying to sneak past this shambling creature? Just to see if there was anything else around the next corner?
Yes, you may.
I am going to, upon hearing this, Bose is also going to prepare a spell and make his way over to where Nadam is currently, or actually not Nadam, where Clyde is if possible.
Alright. So, near him you stand there just as Ryoka hands you the torch and heads out herself. Zoram, you prepare and head out. Volus, you push past and start heading out towards Clyde. Rowan,
Yes.
as you start getting closer and further down this hall, you see what's shambling down towards you. Looks to almost be covered in some sort of colorful rock. And you look and you see what used to be robes or so are currently over this body, draped over it. But it looks like they've been soaked through with some sort of water. And as this, almost as if a walking corpse just seems to be, and it's currently walking down the hall. And then as it's getting closer, you start hearing like the squelching of its boots, and seem to be full of water as well. And you start noticing more and more of this body of this human, you would be hopeful to call it, looks to be encrusted in some sort of rock. For those of you who probably don't know, it's a coral encrusted. The stuff on it is coral, like from the ocean or so. But as it's currently shambling forward.
Rowan would just try to stick to this side. Just squeeze to, as much to the wall as possible, and just trying to slip by it to see if there was anything else coming from this corridor here.
You watch it shamble by, and it walks through another corridor and turns off to the left. As you pass by it, you see with your dark vision, this room continues off into a much larger room. As the hall itself looks to have once been covered by a portcullis, but that has thus been opened. It's about as far in as you can see there.
Alright.
That's about as much as the room you can see. You see another entrance over to the side. It looks like two heavy doors that have remained shut. You see as this corpse seems to continue shambling in there. You continue moving by, and as you poke around the corner once more, it doesn't seem that there's anything else that looks to have been causing any issue.
Is there anything else at the end of the hallway?
Yes, more hallway.
This one.
Yes, I said more hallway. And it seems to keep going.
Alright, well, Rowan would just go back and start shadowing the creature if possible, the corpse.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
You head over.
He'd stay like 10-15 feet back, just in case.
The rest of you, as you start kind of shambling out, you get up towards Iris, and Iris kind of like motions you back with a kind of raised hand. And she points around. There's something down the hall. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but It looks like it's made of rock or something from what I can see.
Hmm.
Is there any type of like rubble or rock lying on the floor?
Nope. None. Make me a perception check, actually.
Alright. Perception is... okay. That is 14 plus 2, 16.
16. You start noticing in the floor, as you're looking for a rock, there's no rubble here, but you do notice that there are huge imprints as if something heavy has been through here. Something that even a stone floor could not hold the true weight of.
Would there be any slivers from like... I'm guessing the stone floor would have cracked. Would there be any way to pull any of these pieces out?
And you watch as this corpse continues moving. You see it kind of run into the doorway. And then for a moment it just seems to stare at it before it runs into it again. The rest of you start hearing a kind of a thud of rock and flesh against what sounds like a door as you hear every once in a while. It sounds like something just keeps on running itself into something. And Rowan, you just watch as this corpse just keeps running into this doorway.
Like, could I grab, I guess, a copper coin, throw it against the opposite wall, so this side here?
Alright, you do so, and it ting, ting, ting. You watch as the corpse stops and turns over silently and looks at it. And you start hearing as the boots walk over towards the coin. Walks over towards the coin that you threw. Just as everybody else is starting to pull up beside you. That would be Ryoka. Iris pulling up the rear. Clyde, Willis, Niram, and Zoram off to the side. As you guys get by, Ryoka, you're moving forward until you finally run into something. You almost prepare yourself to almost throw a punch until you finally realize you hear kind of a and you realize it's Rowan.
That's not going to stop her from punching him.
Yeah, Rowan would turn around and like, kind of like a very hushed whisper, just watch the other hallway. It came from there.
Does anybody heed this from the invisible disembodied voice?
There might be more.
Can I just hit it?
Ryoka, think of it. There might be more where that came from. Why settle for one when you can have all of them?
So let's get them now. We take them down one by one. It's gonna be fun.
Just let me handle this one. Watch the other side. Bowen would just stride up to this one, drawing his sword, just trying to dispatch it as quick as possible.
Alright. So. You, just to get this straight, you're heading in? Yes?
Yeah, I'd head in the room.
Alright. So as you walk in, you're watching the walls, making sure there's nothing else. You start noticing the reliefs are getting larger. And you see they almost no longer represent humans. They seem to represent creatures seeming to come from the sea. You see humanoid figures with a tentacle for an arm. You see what looks to be the faces of a man and a woman, but but instead of ears and a neck, they have gills set into the neck and base of the skull. Looking
While seeing
around,
this-
there just seems to be a continuation of this. Each of the further and further you watch and look and continue paying attention, see more of this.
As he sees this, he just realizes, you know what? I have a better idea. He would turn back to the rest of the room. This was for all yours, Ryoga. I'll keep scouting out the other side.
They're all mine?
Yeah, this one's yours. And he just keep going this way.
Alright. So you head out back through the room into the hallway and continue watching the hall. Ryoka, you start heading your way in,
Yes.
and you start noticing the same thing that, you're human. You cannot see. It's dark in here. Completely
I
dark.
have. Oh well, where's
You handed the torch to Narum, who's at the entrance of the room.
where's Narum?
Niram is behind you.
Narum, give torch now.
Just walks over, hands it to her, and is just like, maybe I could help out, and just pulls out the fucking greatsword he got recently. Still
Do you
didn't
say
have a
this
chance to try
aloud?
this out in a hushed tone.
Okay. Right, a hushed tone. Need to roll some dice.
Oh boy.
Alright, you're lucky this thing is deaf.
Thank God.
Alright. So as it's currently looking at this coin, it seems to be reaching down, and you see as its hand it seems to scrape along the floor trying to pick up this coin. Near you are behind Ryoka. Ryoka, you're looking at this corpse, and as you look at it, you see the entire back end almost as if it seemed to have spread out from the spine and then up over the shoulders and around the sides of the chest. And you see as if this kind of colorful rock just seems to have grown into the skin. And it leeches itself up until it gets to the skull. And when you see the skull, you see only a singular strand of rock continues up above the head until the rest of it seems to end on the sides. And you see on the sides of the head looks to be almost two fish-like appendages that seem to be ears, maybe? You're not sure.
Should I? It looks miserable. Should I put it out of its misery?
I mean, doesn't seem friendly at the very least.
So kill it.
Better safe than sorry, I guess.
Ryoka goes to throw the returning dart.
Go ahead and roll the hit.
Dun, 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 plus 7. Dun, dun, dun. 23 to hit.
That hits.
My damage is gonna be 1d4 plus 5. It will take 9 points of damage.
And as it impacts into the back of the skull, into pretty much where the rock is, you see it sink in for a moment. And as it stops, you see it kind of start standing up.
I have a second
doesn't-
attack.
It doesn't seem your dart did anything to it. And it starts turning around. And it looks at you. You see two kind of hollowed out eyes that seem to be almost empty, except you see there's a faint shimmer or shine, you can't tell, as it just stares at you
Ryoka
before it starts walking towards you. And it's getting closer, and as it's getting closer to the light, you're starting to see more and more of what used to be flesh looks to have almost been smeared off and no longer holds to the bone just how waterlogged it is. And as it continues moving forward, you see the robes that were once on top of it are now carved and cut upon the stone that seems to make up most of its skin. And as it starts moving forward and gets closer, you start smelling seawater, salt, as it's getting close to you. It is within 10 feet.
Just a quick look around the room. Is there anything else other than this?
Nope.
Okay. And the entrance where we got in from, anything changed there?
Nope. It is just open. It's still open. Don't worry, I'm not that much of a dick.
You've
not-
been sealed in the
I'm
room.
not that evil.
Well, you can never be too careful, I guess.
I'm not that evil yet.
Ryoka is gonna step forward to fucking whack its ass.
Alright. You step up to it, go ahead and make your melee attack as you throw your fist out at it.
It's my quarterstaff.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and make your quarterstaff.
Either way, it's a +7. Does a
Yep.
14 hit?
14 does not hit.
Oh shit.
So
I
as
have a
you whack. Yes, Volus, you have a question before.
I want to see if I could use my spell.
Yes, you may use your spell.
Okay, it is a magic missile.
Okay, magic missile. So go ahead and roll to hit, sir. Or not roll to hit, roll damage. Roll damage. Sorry, I got that really mixed up. Go ahead, roll some damage for me.
I am so upset that this
Okay.
thing has a higher armor
Okay.
class than me.
It's a 3rd level one, so I roll 3 times, I think. Hold up. I
Well, level
forget how
1 you
much-
roll 3
Four.
times, like 3d4, and
Second level, you roll 4.
yep.
Third
Every
level, you roll
one
5.
more.
Okay, so 5, another 5, a 2, a 4, and another 5, so 15, 21 damage.
As you release these magic missiles, you see as they swarm around in almost little beads of light that circle around Ryoka and impact into the corpse of this of the matter. And as they impact, you see more. As they impact, you almost see small flashes of light and detonation as they impact and blow off portions of the stone. You start seeing the stone, those almost coral that it's made out of, starts blowing off and becomes almost a scattering of stone in the room as you hear it start scattering through the quartz halls. As it impacts, each one just seems to blow more and more of it off until finally the last one impacts and detonates within the flesh instead of stone. And Ryoka, you seem to be smothered in a foul-smelling liquid of it almost smells like a mixture of sulfur and rotting fish.
She gags a little bit.
And you watch as this creature just falls over onto its back, seeming to be dead.
Ryoka looks over and she's like, I had it!
Zorm did it.
And Niram,
Wow.
as you watch as Ryoka turns around, you just see from pretty much head to like lower belt buckle, you see she is covered in this kind of greenish gray slime
She's
that
gonna
smells horrible.
She's gonna walk over to Volus, wipe some off her face, and then just wipe it on his shoulder.
He misty steps away.
Oh my god.
As you start trying to smear it on him, you just watch as he's like, and peace, y'all. And you watch as his form becomes incorporeal
You just
as you
look at
try
him
and
he
wipe
just
it
goes,
on him. And he merges into almost a low fog into the ground. And you watch him appear where you want to appear. Volus,
Yes.
where do you want to appear? You are misty stepping.
I appear. Let's see. I appear behind Iris.
All right.
Narum just looks around him, like looks at the dead zombie thing. He doesn't really know what it is. He just
Who's the
like
next
looks
closest
backwards
person?
to okay, just like, man, you know, you get a new shiny toy and you never get a chance to try it out.
Right. Who's the next closest person to Ryoka?
Next closest person to Ryoka would be either Zoram or Rowan. But Rowan is
Boy,
invisible,
am I-
so Zoram.
I
Boy, am I
made.
glad to be invisible.
Zoram looks at her and goes, "I made you that dart. I can easily unmake it."
Oof.
Can I,
That's a
like,
threat.
do I know that Rowan's nearby?
No, he's invisible.
Ryoka just flicks a little bit towards Zoram's direction.
Zoram, you watch as she smears it off her face and flicks it in your direction. And it almost gets onto you. But even the small amount that she flicks at you, you smell it, and it smells rancid.
As all of this happening, could I be continuing down the hallway?
Yes, you may.
When you threaten to unenchant someone's item,
I'd be trying my best to just block out the sound coming from behind me and focus ahead.
Alright.
Ryoka, did you manage to see anything in there aside from that thing? Like poking his head, like through the side of like behind Ares.
Alright, Rowan, as you step around the corner and look, you see there is light. What the hell was that?
A war cry.
Fucking
And-
whatever it was. Let's just carry on.
I was like, what the hell is that? But as you turn around, you actually see
No,
there are...
I turned around. I'm sorry. Like, I turned away from my microphone. That's why my sound dampened.
Oh, okay, got it. But, Rowan, as you get just about here, you start realizing there's light coming from this hallway. And as you turn around and look, you see it as an extremely long hallway, almost for about 120 feet. And then you see it sharply turns off to the right. And it is just a long hallway.
I'd just continue down the long hallway.
Don't you know you never split the party?
Rowan is an expert at splitting the party, okay?
Move off that to the side. And as you get there, you see it comes down, creating another long hallway that seems to continue moving until it looks to hit another doorway.
Is it an open doorway or is there actually something blocking it?
You don't know.
Time to
Just
figure it
saying
out.
that's what you see. Alright. As Rowan continues moving down the hall, we'll switch back over to you guys. So what are you guys doing? Niram just watched as this corpse seemingly exploded in this rancid-smelling, gooish liquid.
I guess Nerim is going to give the room one final look, and then he's just going to head out and, like, group up with the party.
the door is stuck. I'm assuming, right? Like the door.
Like this one to the south.
That was, yeah. Like, did we check that?
No.
No, it's just there. I guess, like, Nerim is going to walk up to it. You mean this door? Just, like, gives it a try. Carefully.
It's
Like,
unlocked. See? As you try it, there are some handles to it, but they're inlaid into the door.
It just, like,
So you...
opens it very slightly. Just a crack in the door, and just, like, looks inside. It's probably dark, isn't it?
You grab onto the latch on the inside and you pull it out from the door. And you actually, it's odd the way it opens. You have to pull it out and then push in once more, and the door starts pushing out.
Ah, that's weird. But, Does Nerim see anything in the corridor in front of him?
Another room.
Given that he doesn't have dark vision, I guess it's just
Well, you do have a torch.
no.
You have the
I
torch.
thought didn't Ryok have
No,
the torch?
you have the torch.
Okay.
Ryoka didn't grab the torch. You
Oh,
have
she
the torch.
didn't grab it. Okay, yeah. He just like holds the torch slightly into the room, just like looks into it if there's anything there.
Yeah, there's plenty of something in there.
Oh boy.
As you look around, there is a collage around. It looks like this is perhaps some sort of prayer room or so. And it is smeared with corpses.
On that note, he's gonna turn around, go back to the party, and just say, well, that's a massacre in there. Some images or something, and a ton of corpses.
What were the images of?
Why do we keep running into corpses in underground areas?
I only took a
Because
cursory
Why do we
glance,
keep on
so
running into underground areas?
why do we keep running? At this point, like,
You
we're
know,
just constantly going head first into danger. We're just like, I wonder why this keeps happening to us.
Leroy!
I wonder why. You know, we started out on a ship, and now we're just in a ship. Has anyone else noticed that? Anyways, where did Adam go?
Nerim's in the big room over to our right. So what we can, so I feel like we could probably go in that room, and I have no idea where Rowan went.
So I guess Nerim would be like near the entrance. The door would be open. He'd just like convey what he saw in that room.
Oh,
Like none of us
wait for the
know where
others.
Rowan is.
Yeah, Rowan just
Rowan?
pieced out.
Nobody knows
again.
where Rowan. Rowan's just
Like,
gone.
none of us even know that Rowan has disappeared.
Yeah, but nobody was paying attention. So nobody knows where Rowan is.
Did Rowan run away again? God damn it.
So what?
I'll go find him.
Should we stick together though? Like, is it really wise for us to kind of split up like this?
Who cares about the bard? We have Clyde here. He's much better.
Ouch.
Oh,
Ouch.
I mean, I won't comment on that. So,
I'm the DM and that hurt me.
that burn was so
Damn.
hot
When
that it burnt the DM.
when the NPC is better than the original.
You know, I wouldn't be dissing the person that's invisible and could just be waiting that right next to you.
Who cares? If he could kill me, he would have tried already.
Let's just go figure out what the heck Nerden found, and then I guess we just look down this pathway.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm interested to know what those markings are. Zorn's gonna go over to see what Nerim was talking about.
I'm just moving you guys on group. Stop touching me.
it's my character.
Fuck you.
Okay.
Okay. So, as you guys step beyond Nerim, you enter into a room. There's about half a dozen corpses in here, ranging from male to female, mostly female. And you see that most of them don't even seem to have been thrown about. They seem to have just almost as if lined up against the wall and executed. There is a body. Allow me to mark these out in red as I have been doing. There is one here, 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 and the rest of them are just kind of stacked in the corner. It's all along that kind of far wall. And the closer you look at them, this is not done by a sword. This was done by magic. At least something seems to have exploded in their chest. Or at least burnt it out.
Zorm's gonna take a look at some of these, because Nair mentioned markings. Zorm's gonna look for these markings that Nair mentioned.
Alright. So, as you go ahead and look for these markings, you're looking around, and the room itself does not have any reliefs, which is different. You see they stop at the doorway. And as you poke your head around and just start looking, you see a multitude of what look to be almost runes that are just kind of marked and pocked into the wall.
Can I decipher what these runes are?
Make me an Arcana check. Actually, no, this would be religion. Make me a religion check.
A religion check.
Yes, religion.
What is Zorm's? What is his religion at? I'm trying to find it. So that's 21.
21. Whatever these are for, or even discern of, you have no idea. You don't know who this is denoted to. You have no idea what it's for. All you know is that these are some sort of religious markings. At least that's what you can hopefully discern.
I was gonna say Vian just take a look at this, but we don't have
Who
a
the fuck is
cleric.
Viantis? Oh,
I'm saying
kidding.
O'Sealy.
Yeah, you guys don't have a cleric in this party, and it's
We
so
don't have
much
a
fun.
cleric or paladin.
Now we were just standing in the room like, very interesting.
Yes.
The
Yes.
walls are
Yes.
made out of wall.
These
Yes.
bodies are sure made out of flesh.
These bodies, I think they're dead. I may not be a doctor, but they have no pulse.
I may not
If
be a doctor,
anything-
that's it.
If anything, Zorm is the closest thing to a doctor.
If
In our group, probably.
Okay, the only person close enough that I could even hazard to guess, this is stretching it for you guys because you probably are jonesing to know, Ryoka, since you being a monk, I will allow you a religion check.
Oh,
if
okay.
if you want to understand what this is, or try to understand what's going on here.
Sure. I have. What do I have in religion? I have a +1.
Yeah. It's going to be difficult at best.
Great. Blow on my dice for me.
And with that, Hubie turned into a freaking tea kettle.
What's great though is Clyde left at that.
So,
Oh no!
I may or may not have rolled a 19, so it's a dirty 20.
So, still less than a torture one.
A
You
what?
got less. You rolled less than Hulu, so you're right.
I'm just gonna do that because fucking I don't know what's going on anymore.
And well, just investigate what's on the right
Yes,
here.
you may go ahead and investigate the bodies.
Do I just roll investigation or
Yeah,
with anything else?
You can investigate the bodies, and then if you want to check them out, see what probably killed them, you can make a medicine check, or you
Okay.
can do either or. Whatever you want to
So
do.
I got 21 on investigation, and I got let's see, 19 on medicine.
There's nothing on these bodies. Just the robes they were wearing. No medallion either. Most of these bodies seem to have been scorched, or even something seemed to have exploded from their chest.
Hmm. They look like they got blown up from the inside. Hmm.
So I'm just gonna ask if anyone has any parchment while this is all going on.
While this is going on, and just looking over the bodies, Nero, since you're the only one with a light source, you kind of turn around and you see another doorway to the rear side of the chamber. This looks to have been as if it were forced open. It looks like it was broken, as the doors are almost off the large hinges of stone and iron that they were once made out of. They're bent outward, meaning towards you, and from the inside, where it seems another room is, it looks to have been broken in from there.
Well, that's not at all concerning, right?
Oh no, it's all fine. It's all done.
So again, does anyone have any parchment?
I have some parchments.
Because I believe it would probably be worthwhile to just kind of sketch out some of these runes and kind of show them to. Like I'm a firm believer in taking notes of what we find and bringing it to people who know better. So maybe we can show this to someone and they can kind of explain to us what we just found.
If anyone else needs a torch, like, feel free to tell me. I have a couple more left.
I have a glow stick. I should be alright.
Use the glow stick minion.
Alright. So, what are you guys doing?
Zorm's gonna take the parchment from whoever's offering,
We'll say Iris. Iris normally has parchment on her.
and he's going to kind of just copy down some of the rune designs
Alright.
and kind
You-
of just store them.
Okay. So copying those runes down, they don't mean much to you, but at least you have them, and perhaps they can help you, or at least someone else. As you mark them down, let's go back over to Rowan. So Rowan, you've actually made your way pretty far down the hall. And towards the doorways you look into, it looks to just be some sort of a chamber room. You see what look to be a couple of finely made beds. It seems the base of them have been made out of the same stone as the walls. And whatever the mattress is, you don't know. Or do you take a look and it just seems to be some sort of a just a room?
Is there anything interesting there apart from the beds?
If you want to make an investigation check and go into the room, sure, you can try and check.
I mean, I'd just be glancing over. I don't trust it to go into the room. Alright, so that is a 10.
10. So you're going to stay on the outside of the room?
Yeah.
Looking in, you see, looks to be about 3 more of these coral creatures. And you see one of them is currently looks to be sitting at a table. Another 2 look to just be staring at each other.
Is the one at the table doing anything, or is it just sitting
No.
there?
Just sitting there.
Alright, well... Rowan would just keep going down the pathway then.
Pull out. Keep moving down. And it seems the pathway ends here, but it has a doorway here. Very
Alright, well,
small doorway.
he just continued down the path, like the right for him first. So it's right to him. Here, basically.
So you move down here. Actually, no, that door would be open. Apologies, I had my markings incorrect. You see light on the other end of this. Looks to be a pale torchlight.
I have a question. At this point, would I be able to hear the rest of the party?
Yeah, I mean, it's the entire area here is made of pretty much a acoustic stone. So, I mean, you've been able to hear them for quite a little bit, yeah.
So was I able to hear Narum?
Not really, no. You were
At that point,
You
we
were
like
pretty
at
much-
the other end
yeah.
of the freaking.
Yeah. You were here. They were talking about it here.
Alright.
It echoes, but it doesn't echo that well.
You're just trying to find a reason to hate Nerem even more, aren't you?
Oh no, he already hates him.
Well, I guess. So, want to check that room out, or?
Yeah, Rowan would try to open this door.
Doors open. Doors
Alright.
denoted in blue are open. It means they've either been forced open or they are just ajar.
Well, they're
So
just-
you can see everybody else. I mean,
Oh, okay. So we just.
he sees the torchlight. He sees you holding it near him.
Yeah, Nerem just like looks over, sees nothing on the other end, and just goes, "You want to investigate that?" To the rest of the party.
Yeah, that might be. a good idea.
Rowan would respond to that. Just say, not much here, just 3 more of the creatures.
You hear the disembodied voice echo down the hall.
Did you hear something?
Yeah, sounds like Rowan.
Must have been the wind.
Must have been the So Zon's gonna put the parchment back into his bag and just kind of start making his way to go that way. Go towards where the voice came from, just to kind of investigate.
Alright. So, you go down to investigate. And you hear nothing. And you see nothing. You just kind of hear the kind of clamor behind you. Rowan, you see Zoram is getting closer to you.
Alright, I'd like to walk back into this room over here. Where the 3 creatures are standing.
Can Ian just follow up? Or Volus, my bad.
Well, he can't see you, remember.
Oh, you can't see Zorm?
No, you cannot see Rowan.
Ah, I meant to follow Zoram where he was.
Zorm's just gonna keep watching.
Hey Zoram, remind me why we're down here again?
My brain is non-functioning, so you asking me this is kind of messing with me.
A simple I don't know will suffice.
Oh,
Alright. I'm just going to go on the assumption of looting this place. Anyways,
Loot is
wonder
good.
where I wonder where the hell Rowan is.
Could I just, for the comical timing of this, upon getting into the room, cast Thunder Wave?
So you get over here in another room and you cast Thunder Wave?
So, yeah, so it's basically, I wonder where Rowan is, just a huge explosion sound.
oh, that's gonna be
Alright.
so deafening. That's gonna be so deafening.
Not only this, but I need, Rowan, I need you to make a con save yourself.
Oh boy.
no.
Alright. That is a
This
16.
is like the equivalent of
Wait,
you
a
throwing
constitution can
flashbang.
save? So, 17 in total.
That's not even just
17 in total. You go over into a small, compact room made almost entirely of stone. A very acoustic stone. As you walk into it, you hear the squabbled voice of, I wonder where Rowan is. And you crack! Go ahead and roll some damage.
Alright.
Congratulations,
That's-
everyone now is deaf.
that was Rowan just throwing a flashbang on the ground and looking at it.
Okay.
Well, at least we now know he's not in the 9 hells.
Fuck, what dice do I have
Yet.
to use? Am I dumb? Yes, but hold on. There we go. Okay, and so that is 12 damage.
12 damage.
Yeah, and they'd have to do a saving throw. A Constitution saving throw.
They're going to roll at disadvantage anyway, but yeah, that's a 12. I don't think a 12 makes it.
No, it doesn't make it.
So they're not even trying to dodge this one. All of a sudden, it's just crack as lightning just kind of echoes out from you. And then the boom. You are now considered blinded and deafened. You cannot see. Your ears are ringing incredibly badly. Zoram, Volus, you guys see the wave of energy coming out, and suddenly you just hear of ringing as this thunderclap just seems to come through, and you just suddenly can't help but just cringe inwardly at how this ringing continues and reverberates over and over and over.
Essentially,
Zorm?
he just
Oh.
did what we did in the sewers.
Yes.
You can hear Volus mutter under his breath.
No, we
You-
can't hear.
You can't
Oh,
hear.
we can't
We
hear.
can't
I
hear.
thought it was Rowan.
You guys can't hear, and neither can he.
He
Damn it,
just threw-
Rowan.
He just threw a flashbang in a
I am
room.
become deaf.
He has become death. He has become deaf incarnate.
What?
I have become deaf, destroyer of ears.
Like straight up, I'm not gonna be surprised if like he is now canonically permanently deaf.
No, he's just hearing impaired, not quite deaf yet.
I was already hearing impaired beforehand.
Jesus.
Well, Wallace is gonna start running towards the source. But
Source what?
you are currently stunned, sir.
oh,
You are suddenly all of a sudden just ow, fuck.
Valor takes one step forward, just fucking falls on his face.
Yeah, he's
His-
like, I'm gonna step forward, and
His
you
sense of
step
balance is
forward, and you just
completely fucked.
yeah.
I deal AoE damage being 5 rooms away.
oh my god!
Essentially.
Yes, the only issue, it's fucking friendly fire.
We're not new to that, are we?
No, not really.
When
This
have we
is
ever
why I
been?
should have left you at the bakery. God damn it.
Well then,
All right.
what do you do after? What do you do after that?
I will
like
say this
everyone-
much. Even though no one could probably hear, this is more for Grape. You just hear Vol just say, "God damn it! I know his music was terrible, but this is a little over the top."
I guess everyone in the room behind you would be able to hear that because, like, are we far enough away to where the shockwave wouldn't have deafened us?
Not really.
Well, I guess everyone's deaf then.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, it's not as bad as you guys are there, but it's definitely it's bad.
It's a 300-degree radius of you can hear thunder.
Okay,
or
yes,
the
I
lightning.
would. Grape. I would also like to point out that the thunderous boom is audible up to 300 feet away.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, and it being acoustic is
Yeah, like every
acoustic
surface being
and-
reflective just amplifies it.
Yes.
Yep.
And this is how we TPK. I mean, what?
Yeah.
So suddenly all of you are now deafened, but not blinded, but deafened. However, Rowan,
Yes.
you are blinded because of just the sheer amount of pain you are in from summoning this spell in the middle of this room that is now completely broken. The stone itself that comprised the bed is now broken. Everything else has taken the sound and reflected it back towards you and then out to the hallway. You
He made himself
are
a living
in
fucking grenade.
essentially in so much pain you cannot see. You feel liquid trickling out of your ears, which you hope is not blood.
It's gray matter.
This is like a very good point to just say, I may not be smart. End
And
of
there
sentence.
is no but.
There is no but.
Out of all the
Best part
places
is-
to use thunder, you decide to use it in a cave-like structure.
The best part is, I just cast it without even thinking of consequences. Like, just
You
me,
just
I'm
went,
just
oh,
sitting there
this
like,
would be funny.
Have you not
This-
seen the
no,
meme
no,
of
even-
your
even I wasn't even like thinking it would be fun. I'm just like, all right, well, this is a good way of dealing with multiple people in a room.
If anything,
I mean,
it's the worst.
you did deal with multiple people, just not the ones you actually wanted to deal with.
Zor's
I
just
dealt
gonna,
with
Zor's
everybody.
gonna go over to a wall basically and just slide down it and take a sit down and just kind of let himself recover. He's just gonna have a sit down.
Rowan just has PTSD after this. He's just
a
experienced
flashback.
shell shock times 10.
Oh my god.
I should have casted it at a higher level.
Oh my
His
god.
only regret is not casting it at a higher level.
His
ladies
only
and
regret,
gentlemen.
I could have gone louder.
Oh yeah, and this is how the throwing the party gets executed by the council.
Just
The
like,
You know
council
what?
will decide your fate.
No, here's the worst part. We haven't fully explored this place.
Yeah,
Who knows
he
what
just
the fuck is
essentially
down here?
signaled a war horn.
yeah.
I would-
Whatever is in this place just got like deafened and is now angry.
I would really quick in the like you guys look in the no mic. This is what's going through my brain right now.
Great. I got a
Oh
question.
my God.
This right here.
Yes.
This right here. It's a door, right?
Yes.
Would it be possible to try to move over to close the door?
Go over and
I,
close the door, and the
After
ringing
everything
is still there.
said and
Yeah,
done,
I
just
know
like
the ringing is still there, but now if we have to deal with anything, we have a barricade.
like Valis just goes up to the door, closes it very slightly, and just goes, "I guess we don't have a second bard anymore."
We don't have a second part anymore.
it's just like I wonder where Rowan went. Suddenly, just a loud boom. Everyone just.
No, this would be Volus right now if people could hear him. Well, there's only two bards that I now know. Ones that make terrible music, the others try to bed anything they see. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
it seems we lost the one with terrible
like,
music.
in this hypothetical fucking scenario, I just think of Clyde.
We
Poor,
have
poor dude, just sitting there, like being an actual nice person, playing
Just being
somewhat
quiet.
decent music,
Just-
like
just
being
being
quiet
quiet.
and just like sitting there while you're just slandering every bard in existence.
being a
Anytime
bard that
after-
actually
I
knows
think
how to shut
after
the
this
fuck up.
situation, it's justified.
I feel like any time after this that Rowan starts to cast Thunderwave, everyone's just like, no, no.
No, whenever he gets cast Thunder Wave, he's going to get put to sleep, and I'm not talking about with the spell.
You're just gonna get the fucking club.
Get the
Get the magic
the
missile
bong
at 7th
stick.
level.
get the
Yeah.
bonk stick.
No. At this point, it's gonna make someone invest in glyphs of warding to have like 100 magic missile spells in it, and the activation is whenever Rowan uses Thunderclap, he
Jesus
gets more.
Christ!
I regret not taking Thunderclap as a cantrip.
So yeah, we're just kind of, I guess, taking a minute here.
Yeah, like a short
Yep.
rest at least to get their hearing.
Everyone's just sitting down, ears ringing, just like, we'll take the 5.
By the way, Grape, I do assume I take damage from that.
You don't take the damage because you cast the spell. The other things in the room took the damage. You just took the damage from being blinded and deafened.
You took the debuffs, but not actual damage.
Oh, okay.
Rowan is going to become the deaf bard.
No,
So what you're telling me is Rowan is just fucking Ludwig van Beethoven.
No.
I feel like
Well, we
my
do.
death count right now is technically higher than the entire party combined.
Here's my take on it. All we need is to keep Rowan. Rowan gets himself earplugs, right, and multiply cast Thunder Wave inside a contained room, and so then we shrink him and the room, and so whenever we had to deal with a giant enemy, we just put on earplugs, release it. He just
Oh my
gets
God.
stacked damage.
Are you just building a freaking echo chamber with Rowan inside? He's just constantly casting Thunder Wave.
Yes, and then once you open the door, it's a cannon.
you just have a fucking sonic cannon.
You just give me some earplugs, and I just sit in there, like, casting every single spell slot I have into Thunderwave.
Essentially, that's what the idea is.
Just a fucking sonic grenade in there.
Just the poor party just is like, okay, we're taking 5.
That's essentially the case. We're forced to take a short rest.
So
Ryoka
after
just
about-
kind of seems zoned out, so.
After about 15
Right, so-
minutes, your hearing returns and your sight, Rowan.
What?
You're still
You were-
partially ringing.
Yeah, once that happens, you just hear like a loud screaming, I should have not have done that!
Naram just looks over to the others. What was that?
Well, it was a
Can I
That was
deduce
probably
that was
Rowan.
a Thunderwave spell?
Oh,
Yes.
great.
Thunder Wave.
Oh, of course.
Well, I wonder what demon spawn he had to use that to cause this. Oh, yeah. For the love of the dragon.
On the bright side, once I'm actually able to do stuff again, could I take a look at the bodies in the rubble? Look if
I would
there's
have
anything useful in
slapped
there.
you if you say, "Can we do it again?"
Make an investigation check.
All right, that is a 10 plus 1, so 11.
11. All right. There is nothing here that is extremely useful to you.
I have broken it all.
Anyways, let's go find him before I. Someone go find their own before I find him and slap him. You just
I
see
think
that?
we collectively need to find him.
We need
Fair
to hold each
enough.
other off of slapping him.
We all need to find him, otherwise we're all gonna end up slapping him.
Now the idea is to take turns. What are you talking
Can
about?
I slap him?
Maybe.
I mean, sure.
I can hit him the hardest right next to Niram.
What?
Nevertheless, let's just get ready. No, in all seriousness, whatever he did, now everything in this place probably knows where he is.
Or maybe they're just all deaf.
There's that too. We might be lucky.
Can undead things be deaf?
I don't know. Can undead things hear? If they can probably be deaf, right?
Don't know if they care about that, but let's just go.
I will be right back once again.
Now I'm thinking about this out of character. Can undead be deaf?
The theorem of undead hearing.
We're gonna write a book on it.
Just like a book title, like published by Valis and Zoram. Just the theorem of undead, like
The
physiology.
theory of undead hearing. I mean, in a campaign once I made a book, so I'd be surprised if I do one again.
All right. So, as your hearing returns and Rowan, your sight, eventually you guys manage to get yourselves out, and as you take a breath, remembering he saved you on some occasions, so perhaps you let him have this one. But even that's unsure. As you open the door once more, you don't see anything, nor do you hear anything. But you do see that the path continues through, as the hallways continue to prolong themselves through this underground temple.
Hey, let me lead. If anything, I'll just have a bell ready and get behind if something too dangerous. Yes. And with that, Wallace just opens the door again, but he's ready to like pass if something's behind it.
Alright, well, you open it up and there's nothing behind it. There's no Rowan, there's nothing.
Is he alive?
You have no idea where Rowan is. I mean, you heard him, but you're not sure if he's alive. You're not sure where he is.
Narum just looks
Oh.
over to Ryoka and goes, "Do you think he disintegrated himself with that?"
I mean, if he did, can I have his stuff?
Eh,
I
sure.
think that would have
I
been
don't think that would
disintegrated
be
as
enough if
well.
He disintegrated himself.
I mean, it was loud enough.
Let's see.
Did any of us hear him scream?
I don't think
You
if we
guys were
all
deaf.
Oh, fair enough.
Well, let's look to the left and the right, then the left again. Just where the fuck is this son of a? It is just all in Draconian, so only probably Zorm can hear it.
Rowan would just slowly stumble out of the room. Just a shell-shocked expression on his face.
His arms following Volus.
Is he? I know he's past
Yeah.
the door.
I don't. I guess he is.
What about the rest of the party?
Uh,
I don't know about the rest of the party, but the
I
rest
guess
of the party's
Naram's gonna
just like-
follow.
All right. So everybody else following through and taking the idea through.
Someone go.
Rowan, what would you like to do as your hearing and sight finally returns?
I would like to stumble back out into the hallway and just go, they're dead.
I hope
You guys see Rowan kind of stumbling out.
I got a question.
Yes.
Can I use a mage hand to slap him?
That's not what it's used for, but
It won't do damage.
I know, but yeah, you can do it, sure.
You see Paulus look over to where Rowan is, and he just flicks his hand. And so mage hand just darts to him to try to slap him across the face.
As that happens, Bro would just go, if you do that, or anyone else, I will cast it again.
Hmm. You sure you want to do that?
Yes.
I guess you survive for now. I mean, what?
Naram just like in Draconic asks, time to bind his hands.
You see both nod as he just goes to the corner.
Zoran responds in Draconic saying, I think he can probably still cast without his hands. Let's just we'll have to be a little bit more careful around that.
All right.
So now Voss
You know,
goes
then
you know,
we
we can-
seal his lips together and bind his hands.
Yeah,
and then
we
he won't
gag
be
him
able
and
to
then
cast-
bind his hands, and then he can't do anything.
Anyone got yarn on their hands? Stitch his mouth shut.
Talking about how to
Ryoka quickly pats herself down and then pulls out 50 feet of silk rope.
Oh my god! Just attach that to the dot and start like jamming it through his mouth.
I can still hear you, you know, and I can still cast
It's
it.
just out of character. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
time to cast
No,
magic
it's
right now.
fully in character
Oh
for
my
Ryoka.
god! I mean, yeah, the pat down would be, I guess, but like,
we
fucking-
were talking in Draconic, so
yeah, we were talking
Oh.
Draconic before, but like,
Never mind.
Naram's just gonna go. What
Yeah.
do casters use to cast spells?
Volus, as you
I-
peel
I
around the corner and you look through it, you see a kind of almost vibrant cyan light that just seems to be leaking out of this room. What you see?
Ooh, pretty.
He does prepare a spell while he decides to continue walking forward, thinking that for his own sanity, it's better to get out of this place as quickly as possible.
Alright. But you step through it, and that you keep approaching it on a small podium. There looks to be a small piece of bone that looks to have been broken. And you see coming out of this piece of bone as you get closer, looks to be this light that is shining out of it and almost seeping, as if, you know how when you light a fire and the smoke starts coming out of it, right? It's essentially what happened here. It's been broken, and it's as if smoke is seeping out of it.
He does take notice of that. He kind of looks back, and he rather does enter the room, but he waits for the rest of the party if they follow or not.
Rowan does follow.
Ryoka will follow.
I guess if Ryoka follows, Naren will also follow because he's kind of in the way.
Everybody getting out of the way as you all start seeing Volus heading off and into his room. You all are greeted by this vibrant cyan light. And as you look over, you see to the left side and ahead of you are two, look to be stone doors. For a second, you think they're a relief until you start realizing that they are actual doors.
Hey Clyde, how you doing?
Why do I have a bad feeling about this? He says, looking like around the room a good moment. There's that clear look of something's going to happen because of what they probably heard from Rowan. But anyone else want to take lead? No, yes.
I don't think I do.
Ryoka shrugs.
Naren just looks at everyone. Well,
If no one does, I'll keep leading.
I mean, you're probably the
You'd
best
probably
at
be-
finding out stuff.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah, well, let's just take a deep breath. Let's get this shit over with.
Uh,
And he decides to try to push on one of the doors.
Grape, Rowan does go with them.
So, bypassing the pedestal, with the bone to it, the broken bone, and go over. Which door would you like to try?
Wait, there's a bone on the that's broken
Yes,
on the
I told you. There's a broken bone that seems to have...
It just clicked to me. So out of the sense of it, he's going to try to mend the bone, or try to see if it does something.
Do you want to try and mend it?
Yeah.
I need to roll some dice.
Oh no! Oh no!
You should probably
boy.
read if it can do organic
You
stuff.
mend it, it turns into an eldritch being, it murders us.
Don't worry, I can
I mean,
just cast
didn't we
some
do that
the wave
already?
again.
Let's be real quick. Hold up, didn't we already do that? That's the thing.
We did.
So I wouldn't be surprised if someone does it again. Let me check something if it does do bones.
We
Because if
won't
not, it
have
can't.
Mr. Cup, we'll have Mr. Bone next.
Mr.
What if we
Fema.
make
Mr.
solution? We just make them fight each other.
Mending single tear and an object you touch. I don't know if this goes towards like organic bone or organic material.
I mean, if it can mend, like, leather armor.
Maybe.
Isn't the limitation on mending just as long as it isn't alive, it works?
And a bone technically isn't alive as long as it's not, like, inside a person.
Or reanimated?
Yes.
All right. So,
I know it works on constructs.
as you bring your hands out and put them over top of this piece of bone that looks to have been shattered in 3 pieces, as you start focusing on it and trying to repair it, your mind focuses on it. And you see as the 3 pieces dance for a moment, as if resisting to be coming back together. And as they nearly touch, they stop. and lay flat.
Okay, that happened. And
Who wishes to speak?
Do we all hear this?
What
Nope.
did we summon?
Just Volus. As suddenly your mind is just full of this voice. Who wishes to speak?
one simply of curiosity, he says after like a moment of trying to think of what to say. Obviously enough, he's not gonna give this random voice in his head his name, so he goes a bit vague on his words. Though he does look around a moment, then at the statue.
After moments of pause, you are not my chosen. Why do you have my bone?
Just here. He kind of
Why do you have
shrugged
no
at that.
bone?
I guess the simple term is I found it. As to why, I guess your chosen left it. In the relative terms. But might I know who I'm speaking with?
By the rate at which I feel this, you shall know soon enough who this is you speak to, mortal.
You drive me quite more curiosity than that one sorcerer. Yes, we'll see each other soon then.
By the way, you guys are just hearing Volus talk to himself.
I think
Right,
he
okay.
finally.
Feeling alright?
Ryoka goes over to him like, is it another Mr. Cup situation?
Probably a bit worse. He kind of looked off to the side.
Ooh! I can't wait! Are we gonna take him on a road trip like we did Mr. Cup?
Hell yes.
Nerm
but I
just
think we're gonna have
Nerm
to
just
meet
looks
them.
over to Zoram with like concern.
I
What?
think this is a good idea, considering that this is like. I think this is a different circumstance than Mr. Cup.
But I like pissing off gods.
Same.
So,
I mean, if you want to do that, just go to the nearest like church or temple and just piss on the floor, I guess. That's sure to piss them off.
Find a nice enclosed room, cast Thunderwave.
but that's not as fun as taking an inanimate object that speaks and bring them on a road trip until they hate you.
Ryoka,
Yes.
what if we bring this to Mr. Cup?
Yes! We could give
You
him
know
a friend!
what? The only reason why I want to do this is because I want to test something while I'm connected to this. Because I doubt I'll ever get a chance to do it again. I wonder what happens if I open the book while I'm still talking to this guy.
Oh boy.
Okay, you can
Wait,
try.
which?
The
One of the
undead-
one of the like magic
Oh,
books
no.
he absconded
the
with.
tome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
from
God.
the he was a undead sorcerer quote question mark. Mr. Cup, apparently. So he takes that book, and as such he's still talking. He's just like, I wonder how you compare to that other one. No doubt you're probably some lich or something by my guess. But I wonder how you compare. And as he says that,
Your mortal terms of magic mean nothing to me.
Ryoka looks at Valis and she's like, what's he saying? Can I say hi? Tell him I said hi.
So you're just that obnoxious relative in the room who's
Hold
like,
on.
"Oh, you're talking to someone. Say hi from me."
Rowan would
You
just
don't
like
know who it is. I don't
Rowan
care.
would just like go over to Ryoka and start whispering in her ear and just go, "What if we tell the bone that we know someone that's better than him?"
I mean, we probably do.
You have some interesting
me
followers,
and
I would
you.
say.
No. I mean, Mr. Cup. We know a
Alright,
better
well.
creature stuck inside of another thing.
Well, Mr. Cup wasn't stuck in a cup anymore when we brought him back to his place.
I'm gonna take a look around in this room while this bullshittery's happening.
There is nothing else in here.
Ryoka, like, slowly reaches to, like, poke the bone.
My God.
Nothing happens.
She's
Well,
sorely disappointed.
If you give her enough time, eventually she's going to take out the quarterstaff.
I'm kind of curious about what would happen if I casted Identify on this thing.
I still have my question, Grape.
Oh, I know you do. I'm waiting for you when I ask it.
I was gonna ask, since Wallace opened the tome again, he wonders what happens if either this guy still talks or if his mind gets transferred over to the book again.
No.
The tome from the
Nothing
sorcerer.
happens. You open the book, the pages are blank.
Anyways, if we're seeing you soon, well, I guess the fun is going to start soon enough. I will say sorry for the loud noise. He kind of coughs for a moment. I don't think that'll bother you much.
Did you say
Voldemort.
hi?
You get the sense that whatever it is you're talking to is no longer talking to you. It seems you no longer hold its attention and it has said what it wanted to say.
Can I talk to him?
Well, he just decided not to talk to me anymore, so...
Well, maybe he wants to talk to me.
Ooh, you just got bone zoned.
Look, Ryoka, I think you have enough for one day of getting boned. Alright?
No.
So you're saying you just haven't had enough. Alright,
Oh
and you
gosh,
just
we
see
have a
Moses
thought.
back
We
away
have a
from that.
thought.
Ryoko goes to grab the bone.
They
Well,
are
which-
shards. They are shards of bone in your hand.
Oh, I thought it was a whole bone because he repaired it.
Oh,
No,
No,
they didn't.
repair.
What happened
Oh.
was they danced in the air, and the moment they touched, they all just crumbled.
Oh.
It does make me curious. We should probably take this with us just in case.
Yes.
That is a
And
great
then
idea.
Yes. Ryoko goes to hand the shards over to Rowan.
I would like to just take out the exact same bag I used to carry.
I was
Mr.
going
Cup.
to say, before you guys do that, Zorm's going to say, what if I cast Identify if this thing has anything magical
That-
about it?
That would no. You think it has magic in it? Wow.
Just let him have his moment with it.
If we like, honestly, if it has magical properties, it's best to know what they are.
I would say that, speaking magically is one of them.
Well, whatever it is, it probably belongs to some lich or something like the Mr. Cup. But this
You
one,
seem so reluctant to say Mr. Cup. May I
because
ask why?
obviously it's not his name.
I don't
It clearly
care.
is.
Yes,
It clearly is.
It is his name
Well,
because he
don't
responded
forget-
Okay,
to
while they're
Mr. Cup.
arguing, I'm gonna just spend 10 minutes to ritual cast Identify on the bone.
Well,
Stone
don't forget,
shards.
me and Nerm still have those weird black spots from him. So,
What black
Oh.
spots?
oh,
Black spots.
Now
What-
looks
Yeah.
at his left hand. Is it still there?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
Do
just-
we see these
Nope.
at all? What are you talking about?
Ryoka, I think my spell may have affected them a little too much.
what
Right?
are you
Maybe.
guys
They're
talking
going
about?
insane, Rowan.
They're going very insane. What if there's not even a Mr. Bone?
What?
He
Yeah.
might just be talking to himself.
Vientis, are you losing your mind?
How many
if I
fingers am I
was,
holding up?
If I was
She holds
losing
up
my-
10.
I think the only
Okay.
person losing her mind is Ryoka by calling Valos Vientis again.
God damn it!
What the hell is okay? This is what Wallace is gonna do. First, he's
As
looking
this is
for-
going on, the spell comes to fruition. As you identify this, Zorn, you're not sure why, but you almost feel a connection to this somehow, but you don't know why. It might be because of its age. Because what you hold in your hand seems to be the bone of a leviathan. And we'll go ahead and end today's session there.
Interesting.
I have no idea what a leviathan is.
giant creature.
The giant
Right,
sea creature.
Ryoka and Rowan are just like the Chaos Squad, and we just piss off gods in the party in the meantime.
I'm just gonna say this as a preference. The moment that Zorm finds out about this, he's turning pale.
Meanwhile,
Shit,
Naram is
man.
just like standing there.
But
What's
you
going
have
on? What?
scales.
You can still go pale when you have scales.
Not really. There's no blood
'Cause-
flowing.
Yeah, there's no
Scales.
blood flowing or scales. You just look dumbfounded.
How about this?
I don't know.
All the color from his face drains.
She still has
He still has
scales.
scales.
Yeah, but you can still see like that face that you make when you're like dreading something.
Yeah, but he still
He
has
still has scales.
You know what? I'm just trying to help the poor man. Leave me alone.
He is not looking happy.
Reining it back in so that way we can get things done and keep our 2-hour schedule here, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, would you look at that? Someone's very scaled.
And that's a banhammer. 1 second.
Wait, what?
Nah, 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 nah. Nah, nah.
All right.
Oh no, I think I have to scale my options.
I'm not even going to say anything about that one. All right. So, those of you in the Don't You Dare. There we go. Now, those of you in the stream, I know you haven't been here, or some of you haven't been here. If you're just joining us, apologies that we're just ending. If you wish to catch more of us doing this kind of shenanigans or even more of our stupidity, you can always find some more every Saturday, roughly about 2 o'clock p.m. East, which would be about 8 o'clock p.m. German Standard Time, and would also be about 11 or 12 p.m. West Coast. Other than that, I really do hope you enjoyed our little shenanigans and charades here. If you do enjoy listening or even watching us play D&D while our party is busy making sure that they piss off everything from an undead lich to a god, sure, come on by every Saturday. We'd love to have you. But nonetheless, I do hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions about what's going on, who's in the party, or even the story so far, I can go ahead and tell you that Behemoth, after my spiel, will go ahead and let you know about where you can find the previous videos for this, or even if you'd also be so gracious, why don't you drop us a little bit of a follow and perhaps even catch up whenever we're streaming this. But nonetheless, it is always appreciated to have you guys out here, and I'll go ahead and drop you guys off to Behemoth.
Thank you very much, Grape. Okay, yeah, well, I'm gonna deafen myself for this one. Thanks to anyone who's been hanging out in the stream and having a fun time, and holy fuck, Jesus Christ, today was yet another fucking day of, hey, guess what happens if everything's chaos? Also, I guess I can switch to this scene. To explain why why the channel has been set into follower mode. As you can probably tell by looking on the page, I am streaming under the LGBTQIA tag, and there are currently issues going on with hate raids and everything. Very discriminatory and just vile behavior initiated by just abominable human beings and like abusing large amounts of bots just to punch on people who really don't deserve it. And I think this is important to mention at least. So I will be, until this is resolved, or there have been like sufficiently usable tools implemented by Twitch, I will be using follow only mode. It is set relatively large. Like I set it to 5 hours just so people need to watch for at least one stream to be able to chat, because I'm very sorry to say this. There have been a lot of bots around. And you can never be sure when they're going to start like just absolutely flattening chat. And I don't want to risk it. I'm going to be honest. Because if shit happens, they're not the ones like being punished for it. They're just bots. In the end, it's going to hit the streamer. I'm not the main target demographic. I don't have a webcam. I'm not obviously from an ethnic minority. I'm not necessarily obviously queer. But anyone who is getting targeted, and it's been going on for a good while. It has hit people who are close to me. It has hit people that I know. And I don't want that to happen to anyone. As another public PSA, there are a couple like known bot lists. Check the Twitch subreddit. Check around on Twitter. They're usually like many streamers actually do retweet stuff. I did take part in a day of Twitch movement. That was like the 1st of September, so 3 days ago. I did want to stream that day, but I decided against it because it's more important to like set a sign against this kind of behavior, which really needs to do better. They haven't done much yet. I wish they did. But yeah, in case you do want to catch up on our D&D adventures, to take it out on a lighter note, we have a YouTube playlist. Basically, every session is there. And yeah, as Grape said, hopefully next Saturday there's going to be another session. Recently, there have just been problems with people not being able to show up or technical difficulties and such and such. So, yeah, it just happened. Life happened, I guess. And yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I hope you have a nice day.